the Western Cape Surf Lifesaving Champs 2025, powered by Solid Oak and part of the Rescue Sports Series. We are on the line here with the ladies' rescue tube event, and the racing patients are ready to go. Starter gets them going, and a lightning fast start by Rosie Edwards from Fishhook gets herself going and into the impact zone underneath that white water. Great timing, staying down, getting that wave over the top of her head, and good porpoise diving. She got off to a good start, but it is the tall body of Mocke that can really gain extra meters in the porpoise dive. Currently, Rosie Edwards, this is a racing patient, so the patient needs to get there as quickly as they can. Underneath the wave she goes and starts the swim. And just into the swimming now, the left-hand side of Fishhook. That looks like a Big Bay team. Might be Raquel Robbins or Jessie Ellett to the left of Fishhook, but to the right, Mocke is got her sights set on those boys like a hunter in the bushveld, and she is powering away to this line of cans. Opens up about a body length. Very important to pick up the right buoy, and it helps to count the buoys from the left to the right, so you know in terms of numbers which buoy is the one that you need to swim to. Sometimes you can't really see the colors so clearly. Can't just rely on colors. Your color is actually your secondary way of knowing which buoy to go to. So you have to count the numbers, and you'll see every now and then the patients put their heads up, make sure they're going to the right one. And Mocke now onto the white can with the black stripe, gets her hand on it, her arm goes up, and her rescuer will now be running into the water, quick, smart. But the rescue tube, as soon as you get to ankle deep water, you can drop that tube, and the fins in the hand, you want to go as far as you can. Fishhook is also off the beach. Fishhook's patient gets there, Big Bay's patient gets there, and the other Clifton team. Fishhook, that's Caitlin Brookhart as the rescuer. Look at that wade. Kira Bester, the rescuer for Clifton, not wanting to go too deep, would rather swim. She goes a bit shallower, and after a solid lead by Mocke, Kira Bester not going too deep and swimming early. Look at Caitlin Brookhart's wade. Gets her right up into the lead. Now, if she can quickly put on her fins, she can capitalize on that strong wade. And we'll see now how that turns out. Kira Bester for Clifton gets underway, and Caitlin Brookhart put those fins on really quickly. Fishhook has caught up with Clifton now. Fishhook and Clifton are level pegging. Big Bay under a bit of pressure there in third place. Kira Bester swapped the swimming goggles for a surf ski paddle or a kayak paddle a few years ago. Doesn't mean that she still can't swim, and proving that right now as she powers away to the boys here. What you'll see as the rescuer gets to the line of cans and hands the rescue tube to their patient is that the clip-on of the tube has to happen behind the boys, and you'll see a couple of different techniques. They also have to go around the boys. So they have to go from left to right around their buoy. They have to hand the tube to their patient, and it's got to get clipped on. Some teams will put the tube on from the back, some teams from the front, some teams the rescuer helps assist the patient. Let's see how Clifton does their clip on here. Kira Bester for Clifton gets to the can, swims past, goes around, doesn't pass the tube, just keeps swimming. That is a great move there. Just gives a bit of time for Mocke to get it clipped on. Mocke clips it on herself, and away goes the kick. Let's see Fishhook. Fishhook hands the tube, and the rescuer clips it on. That's Rosie Edwards, the patient, Caitlin Brookhart, the rescuer. And now that changeover, you can see how those changeovers differed. Well, Rosie Edwards now, her backwards dolphin kick, almost just as fast as Caitlin's swim there with the fins on. The patient wants to be or has to be directly behind the rescuer. Look at Clifton here. They've definitely practiced this. If the patient goes off to the side, It's obviously going to increase the resistance. And just see how Amika Diacha self-corrects there, gets behind Kira Best. Kira Best at the same time also just changes direction, makes sure that she gets Amika directly behind her. And she's obviously feeling for the tips of the fins on her fingers to know that she's right behind Kira and getting the most streamlined position. Getting into the serve zone now. This is a kicking workout of note, folks, for the patient. Patient is working hard, wants to try and decrease any kind of work for our rescuer. Rescuer is pulling hard, absolutely powering those big fins, working, the arms working, and now into the wave zone. This is where the carriers take over. This race is multifaceted. The carriers will take over from the rescuer at some point, and it is a tactical decision. How deep do you go? Do you go very deep, go and fetch the patient that you can swim and body surf? Do you wait for the rescuer to come closer? You have to obviously drag the patient up, and Laura Johnson and Jade Wilson take over from Kira Besta in getting Amika Diacha up the beach. Amika Diacha now, no assistance is allowed from the patient. The patient has to remain motionless as our carriers get the patient up the beach. They're going to try and get as shallow as they can before they do the pickup, and the pickup also requires a little bit of practice, and there's a certain technique. Shoulders, arms under, patient trying to be as rigid as possible. Hard work, this carry, absolutely hard work, especially if you are sprinting to the line. See how Amika Diacha's arms are up on their shoulders, they're across the line, and Clifton takes the win there. Gold medal going the way of Clifton. This is going to be a race here for bronze, people. Big Bay has caught right up to Fishhook. Now the carriers have to do their work. Big Bay and Fishhook. Fishhook is locked in. It is hard work. Big Bay maybe not have practiced that. Nina Vocht and Nicola Diacher just want to make sure, don't want to drop the patient. That would be a DQ as well. They cross the line, and you can see the hard work, how taxing that is for our carriers from Fishhook, Alexander Control and Mel Corbett, the carriers there for Fishhook. Some scenes now of the various pickups around the boys. See how those techniques differ. And here are some scenes of the pickup in the shallows, watching how our teams cross the line. Confirmation of the results there. Top three, Big Bay A's, Raquel Robbins, Jessie Allett, Nina Vocht, and Nicola Diacha took the bronze. Silver went to Fishhook A's, Caitlin Brookhart, Rosie Edwards, Alexander Control, and Melissa Corbett were your carriers. And then the Clifton A team takes the win. Carrying there was Laura Johnson and Jade Wilson. Kira Besta was our rescuer, and the patient, Amika Diacha.